Okay, so we have our 3 frames created for idle animation, but they are not yet in the idle animation. Only the first one is, which had happened by default. So what we need to do is select the second 2 frames and click Add to Animation, and as you can see it puts them down at the bottom of the list on the first frame, which is great, but for this animation we want the sequence to play frame 0, 1, 2, back to 1, back to 0, so it's sort of going to go 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, and so forth. What was called traditionally a ping pong animation. So, to do that, all we need to do is grab frame 1 again and add that. So now we have the sequence 0, 1, 2, 1, and then it'll loop back to 0. And there's our animation sequence, and we'll get into tweaking durations in a second, and we'll give the animation a test play. Okay, so let's preview this animation that we've created so far by making sure the animation preview window is showing and making sure the animation is selected and clicking play. And there you can see the animation actually working, but the problem is that there's no subtlety. There are no differences between the timing of each frame, and we want some differences, so it'll make it look much more natural. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the animation frames list here, and I'm actually going to select 2 frames at once, idle 0 and idle 2, by holding the control key before I click on the second frame. And I'm going to click this +5 button here, and that is going to lengthen the duration of frame 0 and frame 2. And as you can see, the animation immediately updated with the new timing, and it already looks a lot more natural. So I'm just going to make that even quicker still, take even longer, those sort of 2 frames at the top most extension and the bottom. And you can see that's how that works. So you can tweak, you can make things take a very long time, a very short time. Obviously if you bring a frame's duration down to 0, it's going to completely skip that frame, so you're going to get this big skip there. That's a good way to sort of tweak an animation. If you might decide that you don't need a frame at all, instead of deleting it from the list, you can actually just set time down to 0 at first, just to see if it's better off without the frame, and that way you don't have to go back to reinsert the frame if you decide it was better off with the frame. You could just bring the timing back, in that case to 5. You can see how fast that is with a setting of 5 instead of 10. So there you go, that's how it works.